So that actuator thing I showed you in the exhaust, I've disconnected that, and that comes up as exhaust pressure control valve position sensor, switch circuit to high, so P048 Echo 00. So I'll show you the multi-plug I just disconnected. The setting multi-plug, that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires in it, so that's a longer one, and that is connected to that little chappy up there. So that's the exhaust valve. I wonder if it's exhaust gas flap. Try that, Roddy. The exhaust gas flap. You see that little rod move back and forward? See it? So at least that proves that is moving. So would that cause a lean code? We wouldn't think so. I don't know what that would cause actually. But anyway, the Varus controls that valve, so that's a good test. There we go. So that's the sensor removed. It actually came out no problem. Just access was a little difficult. So you can see it's 6 wires, and there's a tippet there. So I don't know. See, it looks a bit red there. Clever people who can read things like that. Maybe that means something, I don't know. But we've contacted our supplier, and we're just going to fit another one to it because I haven't a clue what else could be wrong with this thing. So it's quite a long lead. As you've seen, it goes all the way at the back. So tomorrow we'll fit it, and we'll let you know how we get on. So there's the colour. There's the number there, 246. So what colour's 2, Roddy?
2's brown.
2's brown. 4's, is it grey?
Aye, grey.
Grey, and then 6 is black.
No, it isn't. I'm sorry, it's wrong. 2's white.
2's white. So we reckon that's the power in. White's the power in. 4's grey, and then 6 is black. And if we turn it the other way,
1's blank.
1's blank. There's nothing in that.
3's yellow.
3's yellow, and then 5's blue.
That's it.
But what we did notice when we were at the loom, it's got 6 wires, but this only has 5. So we reckon the power and the ground for the heater circuit must be through, what did we say it was? Through the wire, maybe running up the side, like it's shielded, I don't know. Must be some funny internal wiring within that sensor.
See this bit.
And then there's a funny bit there as well. What's inside that brown thing, Roddy? And that bit.
Well, nothing. That's just a cover.
It's just a cover, eh? But what's that?
A relay or something. Well, if that's doing.
Is that just a resistor?
Aye. You see it?
Strange, eh?
Aye. You see the wires?
Aye.
See the connectors?
Dear knows, my man.
4 of them.
So afternoon, everyone. So it's another day. So we're back at the Audi A3. Right, we're talking to our good friend. Everybody knows him, Dave Sterling. And I was running over with him last night a few ideas about this motor before we committed to putting another sensor in it. So he checked his database. I think it's with Volkswagen. You can chime in the chat, Dave. And one of the top faults that came up with this model was there is a known fault with the Bank 1 sensor 2 oxygen sensor. It's one of the production builds. So it just said in the comments, just replace the sensor. So that was good. The other one was down at the multi-plug at the back there. There was problems with the wiring there on the harness side. It said something to do with the crimp connectors. That was a problem. The another thing he had thought it was maybe an air leak. So we're going to use our smoke machine. And I've got here, I've got an old oxygen sensor that we cut to bits. And we're going to put our smoke machine onto that and put it right into the O2 hole, the second one. So we'll try that. And another thing Dave thought maybe was adaptation. Now that is a possibility as well. But the guy's had this car for years and he's never had this sensor replaced or anything. Oh sorry, I need to retract. When I watched my own video back last night I made a mistake or I wasn't very clear. This car has not had the secondary oxygen sensor replaced. The guy who had looked at the car had done another car similar to this and had replaced the oxygen sensor based on that code, but the fault came back, so that's why he was reluctant to do this car. But we're at the stage now, where do we go for here? So we're going to smoke test it, and if that proves it's okay, we're going to put the sensor in and see how it goes, because apart from that I've not got any other better ideas, to be honest with you. But we could look at the tool and see if there's any adaptions in that as well. But the very fact Dave said there is a known problem in some of the production models, that made us feel a bit better. Anyway, let's go and smoke test it. So first of all, we've got a rag up the exhaust, or a cloth bung, to stop the smoke coming out there. Then we're going to feed it in. There's our homemade smoke machine. As you can see, the pipework comes out there and goes down the back, going into that sensor. Let's see if I can see it. So we'll fill her up with smoke and see if we get a result. There we go, look at that lovely steamy smoke. Oh, plenty. Right, we'll go for it already. Let's put it. So I think we're maybe putting about 2 psi into it or something like that. So if I see anything, I'll tell you, but wait, I'll go to check. So Roddy's underneath the car and we can't see any air leaks at all. So there's nothing up the top. So what I'm going to do is pull the bung out the exhaust and see if indeed it's coming through there. So I filled up with this. No yet, Roddy. Look at
this. Didn't guess that was coming in.
No, that was brilliant. So we just open up our air valve a little bit more. I don't think we had enough pressure going into it, and you can see at the back there. Plenty of smoke coming out of that. And Roddy's underneath, we can see nothing. So all good, Roddy?
All good.
All good. So that test works a treat. So put a new sensor in it. Here's the part number here. Uniform Alfa Romeo 004 VW010. You can read it. So stock number 94144. So there is the part there. Seems to be the right thing. Most importantly, you cannot return the product up after opening the plastic bag. Oh! So we'll just need to spend our Christmas money on it, Roddy. Here we go, we'll fit this. New sensor installed, so we're just taking it for its first run. You can see engine coolant 21 degrees and the O2s have not came alive yet. So I've cleared all the codes, so it's moment of truth. So after 5 minutes of running, you can see that O2 bank 1 sensor one's moved, but the new one's no moved yet. We've got a equivalency ratio right enough. We never had this yesterday. It's going up to 1, so that looks a lot better. It never moved yesterday, so let's hope so. Engine coolant 52. Exhaust gas temperature 180, 170. So the temperature's getting up. I suppose the acid test is if the monitor's complete, that's what we want, so it doesn't bring the light back on. But a bit worried. Well, I would say I'm a bit perplexed. What we have here is bank 1 sensor 1. You can see the equivalency ratio. Today it's actually getting up to 1, which it wasn't doing yesterday. The other one is moving as well, but you can see bank 1 sensor 1, it's doing what it was doing yesterday, but bank 1 sensor 2 is not moving. But we've not had any fault codes yet. But what we did notice was, see the exhaust gas temperatures. We think the thing's doing a regen. So I think that's good news, because it'll never have done one for a while. That fault, oh, here it goes. There's that sensor moving now already.
What's his temperature?
Right, so he's different. So he finally moved after, what's that, 800 seconds, what's that, 12 minutes? That took a long time. But as we said to you, at these temperatures, we're definitely doing a regen. No question about that. So once we get up the road, I think we'll keep running till these temperatures drop. And then we'll look at the monitors. So, good news and bad news. The good news is the code has never returned. So that's all clear. And by this stage, because we've done 38 kilometres, so that must be 20 odd miles, by this stage it would have returned. So that's good. And we're not getting any pending codes, so that's good either. That's good. But we cannot get the monitors to run on the exhaust. Anything in the exhaust, the monitor's not running yet. So I looked at the hotel. So you see exhaust gas sensor monitor, bank 1 sensor 1. So you can see it's 20 and the maximum's 23, so that's good. The next, I don't know what these mean, but the figures look, they're well within, because if that's the minimum, that's the maximum, that's what we're getting, that's good. So when we go to the sensor 2, which is the one we replaced, you can see the minimum's that, the maximum's that, and that's what we're getting, so that's good. The minimum's that, the maximum's that, and that's good. So it seems to be a time factor. We think it's no time to temperature, but we think it's running distance or cold starts. I think that's what we think it is. But you can see the rest of the monitors have ran. Let me see. So I take it that's what blue means. Blue means the monitors have ran and they're good. So let's escape out of that. So we can go to, what were we talking about? Number of starts, Roddy, was it?
Aye.
We'll go to DTCs again. So number of DTCs 0, calculated load 25. Actually, when the code was flagged the first time, calculated load was at 0, so it was even just a key on was the problem. Location of oxygen sensors, we've got that. Time since engine started, so that's another start we've done. So the mill's no on. Number of warm-ups since diagnostic troubles were cleared is 1. So we've stopped and started this car 3 times and it's still only registered as 1, so these must be cold starts. Distance since diagnostic cleared 38 kilometres, so that's what we've ran. That light would have been on, because I just ran it yesterday for 14 mile or something like that and it came back on. These figures are red, but Hotel and Launch love to do things like that, make it red, it panics you a bit. I think we can ignore them. Hopefully we can ignore them. So it's a bit of a head scratcher, this bank 1 sensor 2. Never dealt with that before. I thought it would just mirror it or be up to temperature with it, but no, never. So
Is that close together?
aye, that's it. The 2 sensors, Roddy was saying the 2 sensors are that close together, eh? Anyway, any difference in it, or any, if it comes back, I'll give you a shout. Sometimes the free tools are better than the rich tools. The expensive tools. So if we go into monitors on this little tool, Roddy, if you go into that bank 1, just hit OK in there. I go to the first one, and we scroll through that, you can see at the bottom, for bank 1 sensor 1 it says pass.
Go back it.
Aye. And then go down to the next one. And that says pass there as well. And he says pass, so we'll come back out of that. And then back again, and then we'll go to bank 1 sensor 2. Into that one, whatever SC5 is. So he says pass. That one says pass. And that one says pass. So that's actually giving you better information than the snap-on or any other one. So that sensor passes the test. So must kind of have enough cold start. So we'll just have to wait. Cheers.